Okay. All right. Well, I am from New Mexico, small town in Silver City, and I was raised in Mexico, actually, in La Paz, Baja California. That's where I met my husband, and we eventually moved back to the small town in Silver City when I got pregnant with my son, and we have been here pretty much ever since. Sorry, my dog's barking because my son is just walking up.
Oh, that's good.
Could you stop, Shetty? Stop. Sorry. Anyway, so we've been here ever since, and my son, you want to see him? He's right here. Come say hi. Yeah, he's now, Daniel met you when you were maybe 9 or 7 or something, and this is him now. He's 19.
All right, I know. Nice.
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, we've raised my kids here, and we've been on and off here the whole time. But I got a job teaching at a charter high school here in Silver City, New Mexico, and I began teaching Spanish because that's what I have my degree in, and which is it's an elective, but it's a required elective, and so I was teaching there, and for some reason somebody asked me if I wanted to teach a yoga class because I was also really interested in yoga. After I had had my son, I experienced a bunch of postpartum pain stuff that I worked through with yoga, and then eventually went and ended up getting my yoga teacher certificate. And so I had that sort of under my belt, and they asked me if I would teach a yoga class for the school that I was teaching at as an elective. And so I said, yeah, sure, of course I'd do that. But I kind of like had this feeling like I really wanted to make it fun and interactive instead of like how yoga classes can sometimes be sort of very inward and introspective, and most people are just kind of on their own personal journey, but as a class I wanted us to experience yoga together. And so I came up with this idea, and I proposed it to the school that I wanted to try to do group yoga, and I wanted to base the yoga that we did on geometric designs called mandalas. And so I called it mandala yoga, and I wrote up a proposal, and then it was accepted by the school. And so that's where it began. It was just an idea that I had. I really wanted to, high school's such a strange age where people tend to get real cliquish and separate from each other, and it's awkward to be close in proximity to people that you're not familiar with. And so I just had this feeling like I wanted it to be more of like a team building activity. And so the way that I did that was I started out, we have electives which are 2-hour blocks, and so the first hour we spent looking at geometric designs, and then we would color the mandalas. So there was like an art component, there was the sacred geometry component, the drawing of mandalas. There was just so much involved. It just became kind of like a can of worms that I had opened up that just continued to evolve, and it was so much fun. And the kids just loved it. It was like the most popular elective in the school for many, many years in a row. And so anyway, basically we just were looking at these designs that were in these mandala books, and then we would say that our hands and our arms and our legs were all the lines of symmetry, and then we would try to create the image that we had seen and drawn and colored. We would try to create it with our bodies. And so part of it was just really just sort of interactive and problem solving, and how could we create this design, and what would it look like if we did this? And so a lot of like just talking and chatting and trying and trial and error, lots of failing, But basically, throughout the whole semester, we came up with a whole bunch of amazing designs with our bodies. That was one of them. That was so much fun. And every time it was just an incredible experience for the kids and an incredible experience for me to be there as the guide. And so as it started to evolve, I decided that this was something that felt like it was really important, and it was watching how the kids came together. It was almost like when you do theater with a group of people, how you form a really tight bond with them and you kind of break down barriers. And so I just felt like I was doing something that was really, really important. And so I decided to start capturing it. And I made videos that are on YouTube. You can look them up on my website, on my YouTube channel, which is Juniper Bowers. There's a whole playlist of mandala, teaching mandala. And I started just capturing it with my phone and making little movies. And then eventually, once we had enough, I think there is 54 different poses in this book that we made up, basically. And once there was that many, I just decided, okay, this is big enough that I should just get. I hired a photographer, and I got the kids together, and we filmed all of them, and then I wrote out all the instructions of how to achieve it. And the way that I did that too was in sort of a team building or group context, where I would actually have we separated the mandala into the 4 directions, and then so north, south, east, and west were points, and then the next one was the midpoints, so north, northwest, northeast, southwest. And so we had basically team 1 and team 2, which were the 4 directions, and then the midpoints. And we created all of these poses out of those 8 points of the mandala. So anyway, it just turned into something that was like, I could not have ever imagined how amazing and fun it was to do. And then I've continued since then doing mandala yoga just with community in the park, just gathering people together in the park and just doing it as sort of a community building activity. And I've also made videos of a group of women that I get together with on the full moon. We call it Full Moondala. And we get together every full moon and we do mandala poses together. And we've also captured some of those on